Howdy folks, it's Troy with V-Twins to V8s. I'm back. I've got both of my fenders masked off on the inside, set up on my paint jigs. My tank is behind you over there. It's set up on a jig. It's the inside of the tunnel area has been masked off with paper and tape so that none of this silver is going to end up in there. I got my tack rag. I just opened it all up. I'm going to tack off these parts. I'm going to put my silver base in the gun, and we're going to have at these pieces. So what I'll do is I'm going to put a couple of coats of silver base, just enough so that I have full coverage, so I can not see through it anymore. And then after that, it's going to be all about the gold. So let's get to it. I'm going to tack this off right now. I'll get you right here on the camera. Okay, so I'm over here out of your view. I'm gonna throw some silver in the gun. I got my silver metallic base over here. I'll bring you right over here. Got my gun. I decided I'd use the big gun for the simple reason that I have a fairly large area that I want to spray. So I've already reduced this base coat down to what I'd like it to be. I'm going to put this in my gun through my strainer so that I don't get any crap in there. You'll notice I got a little nut in there. I use that to agitate my paint, and if you look in the strainer here, I don't know if you can see this, but if you look in the strainer, you can see some crap that strainer caught. That would have been in your paint job, and that would have been bad. Okay, so I'm going to set you up over here. I'm going to get my mask on. I'm going to get my cover on my gun, and I'm going to apply the first coat of base. And we're going to get this thing silver. So I got my paint in my gun. I got my gun connected to my hose. Alright folks, so I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and blast this. It's kind of funny, I sprayed all these small parts with my little touch-up gun, and it felt like a little toy in my hand. Now I'm going to use the full-size gun, and it feels gigantic. It's just one of those weird things. I'm going to hit my edges first, then I'll hit my main areas, and that'll be that. Okay folks, so I'm back. You'll notice my tank is over here. It's all set up. I got a heat lamp right here. Now, what this does is it throws heat onto the surface to dry your paint if you have a problem. And what I noticed was I had laid this silver down my first coat. You probably can't see it, but there's a little speck of something right here in the paint. So what I have is a piece of 1000 grit wet and dry paper, and I've just knocked that off. So I put my heat lamp on it, I dried it, I ran this over it, and now my crap is gone out of there. So at the same time, I'm kind of looking around, making sure I don't have any more issues like that, which I do not. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack this off again. I'm going to put silver in the gun, and I'm going to give it another coat. Now I can get away with this because this is a base coat. If this was a candy, I could not sand it and then recoat it. You're going to see the sanding scratches. So this is kind of a one-shot deal. Hopefully this takes care of whatever crap I got, and I'm good to go. So let's get some more silver on this. Okay folks, so I've got my silver base coat on all my pieces. I'll pan the camera around so you can see what I got going on. It just looks like a nice silver base coat. Everything's nice and covered. I checked all my edges to make sure I've got full coverage, because if I don't have full coverage, what's going to happen is when I lay my candy gold over the top of it, it's not going to have the same color. In other words, let's say down here on the bottom of the tank, it wasn't covered enough. What you're going to do is you're going to see through the clear and through the candy, and you're not going to see the silver base shining back at you. What you're going to see is some other ugly ass primer color, and it's not going to give you the same effect. So as you can see, I'm all covered up nice. I've got my House of Kolor Shimmering Solar Gold right here. As you can see right through the color, right at the numbers on my stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going back to the small gun, because what I realized when I was laying my color on, even though these panels are a little bit bigger, what I realized was I was putting an awful lot of material on, and I plan on doing some graphics and stuff on top of this. So the situation being is you don't want to put any more material on than you absolutely need. So we've got all this primer, then we've got this base coat. Now I'm going to put the candy coat. Then it's going to be an intercoat clear that will allow me to do some artwork on here, because we're going to put some graphics, some cool graphics, and some flip-flop tones and that type of stuff on here. So you figure once you get all of that on there, plus you put some graphics on there, and then you clear it maybe once, maybe twice, depending upon what we put on for graphics. If we want to bury it down so it's nice and smooth, we could end up with a lot of material on here. Too much material can cause problems. You can have cracking, solvent popping, crazing, all kinds of things that you don't want to have happen on a paint job that you spend hours and hours on. So I'm going to put my base, my solar gold in, and we're going to make this solar gold. So